I'm Frank Dixon. As the head of security at JFK Airport, my daily job is to watch the monitors and make sure everything runs by the book until Viktor showed up. That day, I saw him clutching his invalid passport, completely lost at the arrival's gate, like a bird trapped behind glass. I even used a bag of chips to explain what had happened in his country. From the look in his eyes, I thought it would be over quickly. Kowski, either he'd try to sneak out and get caught by security, or he'd give up and leave. But he didn't. The next day, he was still wandering the terminal. At the time, my boss had told me, "This position is yours as long as you don't mess up." To me, Viktor was a ticking time bomb. So I hinted that there was a 5-minute gap during the midnight shift change, hoping he'd cross the line. But instead, he stared right into the camera, waved, and then leaned in close, saying, "I wait." The control room burst into laughter. Me, I was furious. I even tried to set him up with a way out. If he'd just say he was afraid to go home, the system would have let him stay. But he stiffened his neck and said, "That's my home." I watched him return luggage carts for quarters, buy a burger with those coins, nibble on crackers while practicing English, even help the catering guy chase after the front desk girl. Day by day, he made the terminal his own. I had no choice but to cut off his cart job. But within days, he'd figured out a new hustle, trading information for hot meals. The breaking point for me was the incident with the Eastern European traveler carrying medicine. My supervisors were right downstairs, and I had to follow the rules. But Viktor suddenly stepped in and shouted, "It's for goats!" Only later did I realize he'd memorized our airport handbook. When that traveler hugged him with gratitude, I slammed him against the cockpit, thinking, this guy is wrecking my career. But things kept spinning in ways I didn't expect. He even repaired a construction wall, and the foreman hired him for $19 an hour, more than my own pay. I locked him up out of frustration, but not long after, I needed him as a translator. When peace finally returned to his country, I thought I was free of him. I even waved paperwork in his face, hinting that his friends at the airport might get in trouble if he didn't leave quietly. I expected him to cave. But then that janitor friend of his ran straight onto the tarmac, mop in hand, blocking a plane, yelling that Viktor should go. Watching that unfold on the monitors, I suddenly felt unsettled. In the end, when Viktor walked out of the airport, every shopkeeper put down their work to see him off. By the time I reached the doors, he was already getting into a taxi, snow falling gently on his shoulders. My guards asked if I wanted the car stopped. I just laughed. What was I even fighting for? For 9 months, I'd watched this man, arriving with broken English, yet finding ways to survive in the cracks of the system. I saw him hold onto his promise to his father, and for the first time, I realized there are things bigger than you.